lie down on your back. Set the soles of your feet to the yoga mat. Have as much of your spine down on the ground as possible, the back. Let the arms just kind of hang out by your side. Turn the palms up. And you can let the knees fall in. So it's a little more supported. It's a very small change, but just letting the knees fall into each other can be a little more supportive in the low back. If it's okay for you, close your eyes. And we're going to start our practice just really supported by the ground. Very soft, very gentle here today. So take this first minute or so to really check in. How are you feeling? How are you doing? In your mind, if you could only pick one or maybe two words to label how you are starting this practice, do that for yourself. One or two words. It's been a heavy week, to say the least. The yoga practice is somewhere that it's really safe, and I welcome you to welcome in. How are you doing? Place it heavy on the mat here. And then throughout this hour, we can work with that. Move our bodies. Work with our breath. Those two things together, movement and breath, are said to be some of the best things to create a little more calm and peace of mind. So then I want you to change just by heel toe the feet together and drop your knees out towards each side. So this butterfly or bound angle position in your legs. Still lying down on your back, nothing else to do. Bring the knees back up together, and then take the arms overhead and stretch out. Stretch your legs out in front of you, so big, full stretch. Okay, and then hug the right knee into your chest. You can just take both hands around the front of the shin and kind of pull it into you. And these are little changes, but that really helps. Take the right hand on the top of the shin, and then the left hand down closer to your ankle. And can you kind of angle the right knee out towards your armpit and the heel in towards the center line of the body? It just does a little change in rotation in the hip. We're going to move slow today, but you'll see that we're actually going to get into some pretty big movements. And starting with this real intentional open in the hip is going to help us out. Okay, and then you're going to switch to take the left hand higher up, closer to the knee, the top of the shin. And then grab the right hand and try to hold on to the front of the ankle so the leg is quite parallel to the length of your yoga mat. Knee coming in towards the chest, heel straight down. squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then just release the leg all the way down. And do the same on the second side. Pull the left knee in. Both hands just kind of wrap around the front to begin with. Give yourself a little bit of rock there. Okay, and then we're going to take the left hand at the top of the shin and the right hand down at the ankle. And just kind of as will naturally happen, the heel then pulls in towards the midline of the body. And we're trying to send that knee more out towards the armpit line, towards the shoulder line. And then kind of correct that back straight up and down. So switch the hands, hold the right hand at the top. And it can be kind of hard to get, but left hand down towards the ankle. And hug it in nice and tight here. Some practices will talk about how this work and little change in the direction of the leg there is helping with the colon. I don't know about that, but I do know it helps to open the hips. Okay, soles of the feet on the ground. And I say that just because I can't necessarily see it or feel it. So right leg straight up into the sky. And then just take and hold on behind the thigh or behind the shin and give a little more stretch. Simple, simple stretch, not trying to overdo it here. Okay, and then let's just switch sides. So sole of the right foot goes on the ground, left leg goes straight up to the sky. And again, you're going to hold behind the thigh. That's a little easier to reach, or a little higher up on the calf. If you guys hear a little chirping in the background, it's 2 4-year-olds downstairs having a great time playing in their dollhouse. Stretch the arms overhead, feet down long in front of you. Okay, and then one more time here, and then I promise we're going to get off of the ground. Soles of the feet to the ground, although maybe it's feeling good to you. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh and knee out to the side. And then pull the left leg in. If you happen to have been on your feet all day or sitting in a chair, it can do a great deal for us to recenter lying on our back here at the start of practice. So this figure 4 stretch. You can kind of remember how this feels because we're going to do it again from downward facing dog in just a couple moments. Okay, and then set the sole of both feet back down on the mat and cross the left ankle over the right knee and point the left knee out to the side and pull the right leg in. Okay, that'll do us. Set both feet back down on the ground. And then however is best to you, like roll over to the side or all the way up to come sit up. And then actually roll all the way over to all fours. Set the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And then we'll do cat and cow here. Move the spine back and forth. Keep going, cat and cow. And then change to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes and lift the hips up and back. Down dog. From down dog, pedal out the feet back and forth here. And then press both heels back and down pretty even, so settle into the pose, less movement in the outer form, still big, full breath though. Okay, look forward in between the hands and then just take your time to walk up to the front of the mat. Stand all the way up and reach the arms to the sky, big full reach. And exhale, forward fold. Stay here for a minute in that forward fold. Keep the knees bent, hold on to your elbows. And rock a little from side to side, so ragdoll pose. Just as it sounds, trying to fully drape and release in the upper body. Let it be. And then keep the right foot forward and step your left foot back into a long, low lunge. Feet about hip distance apart, make the back leg straight. And lift the right arm up, so you take a twisted variation here. Right hand up, left hand down. And bring the right hand to the inside of your foot. Spin the left heel down, so 2 flat feet on the mat. And try to get the hips a little higher and a little more weight into the back leg. So we don't want things to fall down and forward here. We're going to stay up and back. And then walk the hands out towards the side just a little bit. Stay on your fingertips rather than flat hands today. And that 2-inch difference of being on fingertips rather than flat down on the palms, use it to keep your hips up and your left foot flat on the ground. Okay, we'll walk our hands back in. Remember how I said we would do that figure 4 shape again from down dog? That's here. Cross the right ankle towards the left. It hooks over the left leg. Then bend, bend, bend your left knee to sit into that figure 4 shape. And set the right foot back down. Okay, we're gonna get into the second side. So you help your left foot forward, however you wanna get there. Step, keep stepping. Full stride, knee over ankle, fingertips in line with our toe. And take the left hand high. Great. Take the hand to the inside of the foot, spin the back heel down. And again, the tendency might be to let the weight fall a little down and forward into the left leg. That doesn't always feel great on the knee joint in particular. So we're going to try to keep our hips more lifted, a lot of weight into that back leg, and then crawl the fingertips out. And my hands are kind of split over the right corner of the mat, but they can come out further to the side as well. Take your left hand to the top of your left glute, your seat. And as you trace your hand from the top of the seat down towards the bottom of the seat, kind of tuck your tail underneath you. And then do bend the left knee, the front knee, a little bit more. Take the hand back out, use it for extra length. And then walk the hands in, lift the back heel. And let's try that figure 4 shape. Cross the left ankle towards the right side. Hook it to the front of the thigh. Bend the right knee a lot. And for me, the more that I bend the right knee and sit into the hips, the more stretch I get. So you kind of be the judge of where you want to go on that one, right? Okay, and then set both feet down. Lower the knees down. Hands might be a little tired by now, and the wrists. So let's sit back into child's pose. Knees apart, big toes together. And just let the torso kind of relax down and forward. Arms down, head down. Again, feeling the safety and the ground of your yoga mat. Then walk your hands over to the right side until you get a little twist here from left hand, pulled back towards the left hip. Walk the hands across the middle over to the second side. Reach from right hand and pull back on the right hip. And come back to the center. Downward facing dog. Come all the way up and back. Okay, and then bend the knees a lot and walk your hands backwards to your feet. So you're walking back, back, back. Helps to really set that femur, front of the thigh bone into the hip socket. Take the hands to your hips. Point your elbows up to the sky and press down into your feet and come all the way up to standing. I'm hoping you have enough space to take your arms fully out to the side, wherever you are. Stand with your feet about hip distance apart. Let's lift our arms up to the sky for a moment. And then can you grow like 1 inch taller? Try to extend a little higher from the hips all the way to the fingertips. Okay, this might look a lot the same, but I want you to take your arms straight ahead. And kind of pull the shoulders back into the body. With the shoulders back into the body, turn your palms so they face up to the sky and your arms then out in either side. Okay, bend your elbows just a little bit to make the tips of your shoulder blades try to squeeze in towards each other. And then while the shoulder blades still squeeze in, can you extend out to your fingertips and make your arms straight again? So it's like the shoulder blades are trying to squeeze in, but you're trying to extend your fingertips out in either direction and take the arms so far back behind you that you cannot see them in your peripheral vision. Okay, now lift the arms up to the sky. Shoulder blades still squeezing in. Arms still back behind you as much as possible. Little more lift. Lift, lift, lift through the chest. So that's your back bend. And relax the arms. Give it a little bit of a shake. So we're going to do that exact same thing, but just with a lunge in the legs as well. From the top of the mat, have your right foot forward and step your left foot back. Make your back legs straight. So we're going to lift up high enough in the hips that we can feel the sense of squeezing in. Lift the arms up to the sky. Okay, and then down in front of you. Squeeze tops of the shoulders back, tips of the shoulder blades in as you extend the arms out to the side. Bottom of the shoulder blades, like the wings on your back, squeeze it in. But then the top of the wings, near your top of the shoulders, try to extend out. Arms behind you in your rear view. And then arms up to the sky. Up, 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 up. Keep reaching the arms up, 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 up. Maybe palms together. You can cross at the thumbs. Reach, 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 reach. Lower the hands on either side of the front foot to give it a little rest. So we're trying to do upper back and hips kind of simultaneously through this practice. So now you're going to lower the left knee down to the ground. Push the left knee down and pull it forward. Press your front heel down and pull it back so you feel really strong and engaged in those legs. And we'll take the hands back up to the hips. Lift the torso straight up and down. Okay? Now with the hands at the hips and the thumbs more onto your back, squeeze the elbows in. And my thumbs, I'm trying to find the little creases in the center of the back that are each side of the SI joint, the sacroiliac joint. So it's the top triangular pieces of the sacrum. They usually have a little indentation point. Keep pushing your thumbs into that and squeeze your elbows into one another. And then try to look up to where the wall and ceiling meet each other. You should lift, lift, lift the chest. It starts to make me sweat all over. So it doesn't look like a ton, but it's a lot of work. And then you kind of come out of that back to neutral, drop the hands back down. Lift the back knee up and step it all the way forward. And then we'll just switch sides. Left foot forward, right foot back. You gotta come all the way upright. Walk the hands up to the front thigh and stretch the arms up to the sky. Okay, so just kind of nice, normal, stretch the arms up. And I like to come here first because I want the thing that comes next to be different. Kind of looks the same on the outside, but I hope it feels a little different. So again, we start our arms forward. You can do this for exaggeration. It's like cat pose when the shoulder blades round off of the back. And I'm trying to squeeze the shoulder blades onto the back. So the shoulders pull back and in. And you turn the palms up, take them out to the sides as the shoulder blades stay in, but arms out. And then arms up and back. Palms together, cross at the thumbs, reach, reach, reach. I've got a big stretch down my right front of the hip, as well as a lift in the top of the chest, so much, and then lower the hands down, and lower your right knee down. Give yourself a breath. Okay, same thing, get really strong in the legs. Take the hands to the hips, lift the torso. So you can do the same thing again. It's the squeeze of the elbows in, sort of the thumbs finding those corners of the sacrum. That's first stage. Or go with me here, interlace the hands behind the back. Try to make the heels of the hands touch. That's a lot. And if you've got that and want more, stretch the arms straight. Lift the chest up. And the whole time, you gotta stay strong in the legs. Don't let it go. Breathe. And then release the hands. Each side of that front foot. And let's step it all the way back to downward facing dog. Take kind of a nice, easy pedal of the feet. Come forward to plank pose. And lower down to the mat. Keep your left hand right beside the chest, but stretch your right arm out like half of a T shape. And then you're going to kick your left heel to your butt. Then roll onto your right side until you can set your left foot down. This is a shoulder stretch. And then relax your head. Yep, that's all it is. Come back to your center. So lie flat down on your belly. Take the right hand right underneath your shoulder and extend the left arm out. And again, kick your right heel to your seat. And then roll onto the left side so that the foot can stamp down on the floor. And usually at this point, we've got our head and neck kind of lifted a little bit odd. If you can, lay it flat down. And then come all the way back around onto your belly. Okay, so good old cobra, hands right underneath the chest. Hug the elbows into the side. Press down into your feet and your hands and lift the chest up. And I hope that feels pretty good, but then I want to make it, I think, even better. We're going to take our hands out wider than our yoga mat, point the elbows up to the sky and be on fingertips, and then try it again. Come up. So giving ourselves a little more space to work with. And then exhale and lower down. And do it one more time like this. Inhale and lift up. Nice. Lower it down. Push back to child's pose. Okay, and to downward facing dog. Okay, lift the right leg up into the air, three-legged dog, big lift. And then pull the right knee towards your nose and hover forward like plank pose. So top of that push-up with the right knee into our chest, hold it, hover, hover, hover. And then step the right foot forward so you're back into that long, low lunge. Okay, we got it. Warrior two, spin the back heel down, come upright, and extend the arms in either direction. Look out over the front fingertips. Sit a little lower into the front thigh. But every time you go lower in the front leg, give a little push into the back leg. So it's a little give and take every time, every breath. Elbow to your knee, top arm palm down overhead, side angle. And then bring your left hand straight up to the sky rather than overhead. Take your right hand across your belly to hold on more towards the left side. And can you make your right leg straight and go into triangle pose? Then you get to use the right hand again. Lower it down to your leg or the ground. Top arm up to the sky. So it's just a little core work snuck in there in between the poses. Okay, look down at your right foot. Come back into your low lunge. Bring the left knee down to the ground and then get a hamstring stretch in here. Push your hips back and straighten the front leg until you find a stretch down the back of that front leg. Okay, we'll come out of that and we'll switch sides. So I'm just gonna go through all fours and then swing the left leg around. We'll practice that three-legged dog on the second side in a minute. So just go right into that low lunge to start. And here, left foot forward, right foot back. Warrior two, spin the back heel down. Gain your balance, upright, extend the arms out in either direction. Look over the front hand. Again, can you go a little lower into the front leg? Usually yes, but then we've got to pull into the back leg. And then we might do it a little bit again. A little lower in the front leg, but pull back into the back leg. Until you find your depth and your center. And then let's go left elbow to the knee, top hand, palm down, reach it overhead into your side angle pose. From side angle, we're going into triangle, but we have a little sneaky ab section first. So it's right hand up. And take your left hand towards your right hip, and that's where you gotta squeeze in. Squeeze the inner thighs, pelvic floor lift, belly strong, straighten the left leg, and go to triangle pose, left arm down, right arm up. We'll bend the left knee, look down, and step it all the way back to downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Even it out here for us. Pull the left knee into the chest and hover forward. Hold on to it. Nicely done. Step it all the way through. And then this time bring the back foot forward as well. So both feet at the front end of the yoga mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand up, reach the arms to the sky. I don't know if that ding is me, it must be. Bring the palms together, center of the chest. Take in a couple of breaths. Is that me? What's dinging? It is. I'm sorry about that. We'll try to make it stop. Okay. Apologies. I have a new computer, which is great, but I don't have all the preferences set right. Lift the arms back up to the sky. And then exhale, forward fold. And step it back to down dog one more time. Downward facing dog. Okay, I want you to balance on your right hand and spin to the outside edge of the right foot, like you're gonna do side plank, but instead we're gonna step our left foot forward, like halfway up into a lunge. So both of your feet stay on the mat here. Turn the torso open to the side and lift the left arm up. So side plank with a little kickstand. And the point of it is the kickstand. Try to lift your hips higher to the sky so that you get a really big stretch in that IT band on your left leg from the outer hip to the outer knee. Yeah? And then go back to downward facing dog. And then we're going to try to do it on the second side. Turn to the outer edge of the left foot. Step your right foot halfway up the mat. The toes point out towards the long edge of the mat, all 10 of them. And lift the right hand up. If you feel pretty trapped in the bottom shoulder, I actually walk my right foot further back rather than closer to the hand. Further away helps me out. Okay, and then down dog. And come forward to plank pose. Lower flat down against the mat. We're doing cobra, peel the chest up. So we've kept the movement slow today, but not easy. Push back to child's pose so that we can get really open and full in the hips, as well as in the upper back. As you come upright, pull the knees together and sit back on your heels. And then we're just taking a really easy twist to the right. Easy meaning don't overdo this, just kind of twist and look over towards the left. and back to the middle. Okay, we're gonna have a seat, stretch the legs out in front. A little bit more twist here. Take the right foot in and cross it over. And use both hands behind you and lift up. And then take your left hand up to the sky and cross it to the outside of the thigh. And that's a lot to do. So you could also go to the front of the shin. I'm actually going to go there and do the twist here. Every inhale, I want you to feel as though you're lifting higher up towards the sky. And it's the exhale that slowly draws you a little deeper into the twist. And try to do most of the twist like from your upper belly and upper back, less from the hips. Then come back around your center, both legs straight out in front. We'll do it to the other side. So left foot, in and over. Again, both hands behind you today to start to lift the chest. And then take the right hand to the front of the shin, a little more doable, or to the outside of the thigh, more challenging. And it's more challenging because then we've pinned ourselves a little deeper to get the start of the lift and the twist. Whichever one suits you best. And inhale and come back around to the center. Extend both legs out. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle. Okay, friends, we're gonna lie back down onto our back like we started. And we'll take a little check-in here. So again, arms can be out to the side, feet about as wide as the mat. Let the knees fold in. And then, is there one or two words now that are popping up for you? Notice how you're feeling now. A little more than halfway through our practice. Has anything shifted? Doing our best not to judge that, just to take notice. Okay, and then we're gonna open the knees back up about as wide as the hips and take your hands and try to brush down close to the heels. So the work that we've done throughout the practice is helping us get ready for a few belly up back bends here. The first one, bridge pose. Press down through your feet, your shoulders, the back of the head, and then lift your hips up. As you lift the hips, squeeze your butt a lot. Push your feet down. Again, shoulders, back of the head down into the mat. Hands have some choices. We can bend at the elbows, and arms are kind of like, hands are kind of like bookends around the belly. I like that one. Can give a lot of force of the upper arm bones into the mat to keep you lifted. A little more challenging, hold on to the edges of the yoga mat. Or still more in the shoulders. You can interlace the hands underneath you and roll the shoulders a little more up and in. It's that squeeze of the tips of the shoulder blades in like we were doing a little earlier. And we're here for another breath. Press through your big toes to lift the hips. Then release the hands. I like to lift the heels to give myself a little more space and lower the hips down. Just pause for a moment. So I'm doing a series of 4 back bends here. And that was 1, so we've got 3 more. You could do the next 3 exactly the same way and see how that progression, helps. I'm also going to give us some more challenging options, and so you can take those more challenging options or not. right? It all sort of builds on itself, and the whole point of the practice is to take a slow build. It doesn't have to be today or next year. Okay, here we go. Second one, go back to your bridge pose. Press down through your feet, shoulders, and head. That's really cool because they all start from here. And then take your hand position, 1, 2, or 3. And then you get to make a choice. Okay, stay there, work there, 2 feet on the ground. Or, more challenging, right knee into the chest. Not just a little more challenging, I think a lot more challenging. Right leg straight up to the sky. See what happens. Pull it in, step down. And then what we do on one side, we try to do on the next side. Pull the left knee in, kick the foot up, lift the hips. So push into the right foot to help the left leg lift. And then take both feet back down. Release the hands and release the hips. So that solid grounding that happens through the movement and opening in the hips gets us ready for this big expression in the heart and chest. Okay, that's 2 down, and we've got 2 more to do. So again, you could do what we just did, 1 or 2. But I'm going to change our hands this time. I want us all to try this different hands. Both hands straight up to the sky, and flex your wrist. And we're asking for this big flex in the wrist. Bend at the elbows to take the hands down onto your yoga mat. And here, the back of my heel, the heel of my hand is up. It's not down on my mat because my wrist just doesn't quite go there with my whole body flat down, but I'm working, I'm doing my best. Fingers faced in the direction of your heels. And then try to squeeze the elbows so you can see them in your peripheral vision. Okay, so you've got your hands set up like this underneath the line of the shoulders. And then can you do bridge pose in your legs again? Push down to your feet, push down your shoulders and your head still, and lift the hips up. And this might be your stopping stage. Okay, the next stage is to push so much weight into your feet. You almost rock your knees towards your feet and push into the hands so that you can lift your head off of the ground and then set it back down, top of the head. You're not rolling over the head. You've got to lift up and then set it back down. I've still got a whole lot of weight in my hands, but I'm going to take them a little wider and still look at the elbows and try to rock the feet, the weight into the feet. And I kind of pull my chest more forward as I do that. If you get to the top of the head, that's our stop point. You're going to then have to pick it back up, chin to chest, and lower everything down. Yeah, so it's a back bend just on the top of the head. Helps to build our strength and agility in the hands. Okay, so that's 3. We've got 1 more, right? So you have those 3 options. You repeat them again. Or this time, if you've done the third thing, you're on the top of the head, you're ready for it, we're going to push our arms as straight as we can to make our head come off of the ground. Let's see what happens. This is like a nemesis pose for me. It's one reason you don't see me teach it a lot. But there are some days and some weeks we just got to do it all. And that's happening now. Let's see what goes. Hands placed under the shoulders. Like the elbows in so you can see them. Okay, try bridge pose first. Lift the hips up. And then we're going to push some more weight into the feet to try to go to the top of the head. So I lift my heels up as I straighten my arms and try to pull the chest through. Give it your best shot. Any of the options that we've done, maybe heels back down for a moment. Ay, ay, ay. As you come back down, you got to tuck the chin, pull it in, and then pull the knees into the chest. Should feel so nice. Hug around. Take the soles of the feet back down to your mat. Knees can fold in, arms out to your side. Whew, let your breath be. Notice the energy, the intent in the body now. Now, what's your word? Cross the right ankle over your left thigh. We do that figure 4 shape again. Knee out to the side and pull the left leg in. Then you can wrap the arms to hold to the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. Give it a little moment there. And then we set both feet back down to the mat. In case it wasn't clear, that big back bend is certainly quite an advanced pose. Try it on the second side. Left ankle over the right knee and pull the right leg in. I think it's good for us to challenge ourselves in different ways of movement. It makes the brain stay sharp too. And then we go both feet back down to the mat. Pull the knees into the chest, set the hands out like a big T. And take both knees over to the right side so you get a supine twist here. And take the knees across the center on over to the second side. And then bring the knees back in. I want you to rock your way safely up to a seated position. So we can take the legs straight out, flex the feet, reach the arms up, and then just fold over. Just nice, even rounding through the spine. You can bend behind the knees here to make that a little more comfortable. And definitely, if you have any strain in the low back, you'll want to do the bend in the knees. And the seated forward fold acting as a counter pose from the big back bends. And then today I want you to come to an upright seat. Sit with crossed legs. Or if there's a different way that feels a lot more comfortable to you, that's okay too. Take a breath or two with the hands up along the thighs. And then very meaningfully, turn the palms down onto your legs. Turn your gaze low or close the eyes. And of course, you want the eyes to be opened. If you ever feel dizzy when you close them, just gaze low for the point of keeping us turned quite internal here. And then I want you just to start to make little circles and then bigger circles in the upper body. If you need to glance up at the screen, do so, and then bring that attention back down and in. I'm just making big circles now. And then switch your direction. Go the other way too. And then just try to find a bit of stillness. So you sit upright, shoulders mostly up, back and down. You can change the hands as feels best to you. Really try to watch your breath. So not even the notion of having to change your breath or alter it in any way, but really just be aware. That's really our most simple practice of mindfulness, of meditation. Just watch the breath, feel the breath. I've always found the practice watching the breath so effective. I often don't get past it. It's all that I need. Check in. What do you need? From the seat, bring the palms together and your thumbs to your sternum. Feel the breath here in the chest, in the heart. Take care of yourself each and every day, but certainly in this coming week. Simply turn awareness and attention to breath. If you feel yourself anxious, remember how we started practice. If you can, lie down, get really close to the ground. Just let yourself be there for a few minutes. Two really simple things that can be quite helpful. We'll close today just by bowing in deep gratitude to yourself, to each other, and for this practice. Thank you.